Keeping up with the current Overwatch 2 meta can be the most confusing and difficult thing for any new player, and honestly even a returning veteran player from Overwatch 1, just because the meta is changing every single week. There's new heroes that come to the top, heroes fall off, nerfs happen. As you guys heard, the most recent nerf that happened, which is insane, and I can't wait to discuss it in today's video. So I'm gonna be able to help you guys figure out what works, what's the current meta for tank, support, and DPS. And yeah, before we dive straight into this, make sure you guys are subscribed. I've been dishing out content for Overwatch pretty much daily so far, and you guys have been showing a lot of love and support. So I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much, and let's get straight into this. So we're going to be starting off pretty much here with the nerfs that happened. I'm going to keep this very short and simple because I want to focus on a lot more things. I can dedicate a whole new video to the nerfs, my thoughts, and why I think it is absolutely atrocious, and you guys probably agree with me. But yeah, so going over it, basically Genji got hit with a nerf as expected, basically by the whole community here. I don't think it's as bad of a nerf, honestly. I mean, maximum ammo, just be a little bit more accurate, and then your damage going from 29 to 27 isn't really the end of the world. You can still do a lot of damage. As you guys know, the problem with Genji was Nano Blade. Honestly, that was the only problem, so they haven't really fixed the main problem yet. We move on to Zarya here, and Zarya got hit with a nerf. Honestly, I think this is probably the most significant nerf that happened. Basically the barrier duration reduced to 2 seconds. I think that's what it was like in Overwatch 1, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's pretty good. Do I think this is gonna fix the Zarya problem in competitive? Unfortunately, no, it won't, just because Zarya is still very powerful in the current meta, especially with the other powerful heroes being hit pretty hard with the nerfs. And yeah, let's move on. So next up we have D.Va. Now, as you guys know, honestly, I hate D.Va quite a bit, just because it requires little to no skill to play D.Va. Her ult can be very annoying at times, especially if you're a squishy DPS and there isn't really cover to hide to, or your Reinhardt doesn't really have a shield up. There's a lot of issues with D.Va and the way she's played, honestly. So I'm kind of happy she got hit with this nerf. It's not the end of the world, right? Booster impact is probably the biggest change here, down to 15. But yeah, let's move on to last but not least, we have Kiriko, my favorite one. I honestly didn't want them to touch Kiriko just because she's very balanced in my opinion, and she's honestly one of the most fun supports to play, if not the most fun heroes. Her whole kit is just amazing. It's like kind of defines Overwatch 2 in a way, right? So I was kind of mad when they did this nerf, but it's expected, right? She is kind of a bit too powerful, especially in the hands of a skilled player. But yeah, these are the nerfs that I wanted to kind of focus on. And obviously we have Sombra, but I'm not even gonna go over Sombra just because I'm happy she got nerfed. Let me know what you guys think with these nerfs, basically, in the comment section below, if you guys agree, if you guys disagree. And yeah, I probably can, but I don't really want to make another video just for the nerfs, just because everyone has been doing it. So let's move on to the meat of this video. So with these current nerfs that we have, you're gonna want to climb the ranks as fast as possible, and the current meta, in my opinion, is Sojourn. You probably guessed it. Why on earth have they still not nerfed Sojourn? It does not make any sense. If anything, Sojourn is probably a lot more powerful than Genji. So to me, as a competitive player, and to a lot of you guys watching this video, it doesn't make any sense, right? I think Blizzard came out and said something regarding the lines of, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but Sojourn is not very powerful in the low ranks or tiers, and she's only powerful if you get high up in skill tiers. Well, to be quite fair, that is the problem here, right? I see what they're saying is just because, you know, if you're really skilled, then she becomes a problem. Well, that is kind of the problem, right? A lot of people that want these nerfs and changes are competitive players, right? So I think Blizzard here wants to basically lean on the size of an average player, you know, your average Joe or Timmy. Basically your average Joe or Timmy that just wants to play the game casually, it isn't really too competitive. Then yeah, Sojourn isn't really a problem, right? You go down to bronze, you probably wouldn't even find a Sojourn, to be quite honest. Maybe after the nerf that's going to be different, but yeah, Sojourn is really a problem only if you get up to maybe diamonds or plat or masters or top 500, etc. Then she becomes a problem, right? A high skilled tier player, right, has Sojourn in his hand, and the other team doesn't have Sojourn or a way to counter Sojourn very hard to shut her down, which by the way is still very difficult even if you're good, right, or have the counter. Then that team will just dominate the meta, or literally dominate the entire game and the scene, right? So how do you want to dominate this meta as DPS? Is you want to play Sojourn. Very easy. Just honestly go into training, practice hitting your rail, practice hitting your shots, practice your ult, and it's not really a whole lot difficult to learn Sojourn. I think her kit is very simple. You just kind of have to get a little bit better aim and just maneuvering and movement and using your escape skill. But in general, she has a very decent kit that's going to absolutely dominate the meta. Next up, we're going to move on to the tank, right? So I was thinking throughout this video, how do I break this up and make it as beneficial as possible? We're going to go through every single role, and we're going to pick one hero that can dominate the meta. There's going to be a lot more heroes than this, by the way. There's like 3 very good tanks, but I'm just going to focus on the one that I think is the most powerful, right? Now, this one is going to be between Zarya and Reinhardt. You guys probably guessed it, right? So Reinhardt, I think, is very, very effective in a lot of comps. The thing with Reinhardt here is that he's able to actually traverse the map pretty well, dive insanely well, and also protect his teammates, right? Now, the biggest meta I noticed right now in Overwatch 2 is that a lot of people like to dive the supports or the squishies in the back line, right? I've seen that quite a bit, right? I've played competitive. I think I made my way all the way up to plat, and I was playing one time and I was going against a Winston, the absolute nightmare of my dreams, and he just kept diving my support in the back, kept bubbling my support so she couldn't get through his bubble to heal us, and it was just absolutely a nightmare. So a dive meta, right, is very, very prominent right now. So what you're going to want to do here is you're going to play Reinhardt, right, or you're going to play Zarya. Now, Zarya is still very powerful in my opinion. We have yet to see how this nerf hits. As you guys know, it's not going to go into effect until 2 weeks from the day you guys are seeing this video. So we have yet to see how it affects her. I don't think it's going to do a whole lot. So Zarya is still very up there. Honestly, it might, right? We don't know. But if I had to bet on a future tank, it would most definitely have to be Reinhardt, just because of his whole kit and everything he has going on for him. It is very powerful. Next up, we have our supports, right? Now, when it comes to supports, I think this is kind of the most hardest role to kind of pin down to a single one, just because it's so different. Like, Ana's very good in a lot of situations. Mercy Pocket can be ridiculous if you have an Ashe on your team that can hit her shot very well. So it kind of depends what you're good with. But once again, if I had to bet on a few heroes, it would have to be Moira. Moira is absolutely insane, right? Now, there's that, obviously, that going on joke that everyone says, you know, Moira this, Moira that, and, you know, probably Moira is a DPS, and when Moira is a DPS, I'm not getting any heals. But to be quite honest, Moira is still very strong with heals. Her ult is insane. It can change the absolute end of a game, and it can be crazy in general, right? So once again, that's going to be Moira, and it's going to be Kiriko, I think. Still, Kiriko is also very insane, and she's able to actually dish out quite a bit of damage. My personal look on supports and the way I view supports as being effective is, can they actually dish out damage? Now, you're probably asking yourself, why do you even want a support to dish out damage, right? The reason being, in this current meta, the dive mechanism is being used quite a bit. Healers or supports in that case, right, are getting dived quite hard and quite often by Genji, by Winston, by a lot of dive heroes. So what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to shut down those divers, dish out some damage, move back, right? If you're Moira, this is very easy once again, and basically kill them if you can with your teammates and heal your teammates at the same time, right? I find supports are always stuck in this position where they get dived and all they do is just heal, but they just melt because the enemy isn't being threatened by your damage, so it becomes a problem. So I think DPS healers or supports for that case, and this can be a very controversial point, and I can already see all you guys typing away in the comments, is going to be the next big thing, right? Of course, heal your teammates when they need health, right? But don't be mad if a Moira has more kills and damage than you, right? If you're still winning the game and you're still getting heals, it's just the way the meta is nowadays, right? Healers are being focused more than DPS just because it's a 5v5 instead of a 6v6, and healers have to put up for themselves. That's honestly all there is to it, right? And yeah, once again, that's gonna wrap up today's video. Once again, very short and sweet and simple as always. And let me know what you guys think of these nerfs or this list that I put together for you guys for each role, and how you guys can dominate the current meta with the nerfs that are coming. As always, make sure you guys drop a sub if you're new, and I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers we have on the channel. I hope you guys definitely enjoy your stay, and it's been honestly a lot of fun making content for you guys with the release of Overwatch 2. I'm a new player to the game, believe it or not, but I'm actually climbing the ranks pretty well. I'm understanding the tactics pretty well, and I'm dishing out content for you guys pretty well too. So once again, make sure you guys tune into the live streams. That is iTeHee. You guys can probably see it on the screen, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great one, and peace.